Before we get started with the next presentation, are there any empty seats next to you? If you can, raise your hand. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, I think one of those is mine. Make the light up corner. All right, so if any of you that have a chair, there are some seats. And we do have some extra agendas out on the table as well. Speaking of the agenda, we have a flip. So we're moving club mentoring as session number 2. Bill Atkins has implemented a successful mentoring program in his club. Today, he shares with us his secret. Bill Atkins.
Did you ever come up to a time in your life when you failed? If you think about that, you really, really wanted to do something, you got to it, and you failed. How did that make you feel? Not too good. This is something we do in our clubs every day when we have new members come into our Toastmasters club and we let them fail. Now, why do we let them fail? Because they come in there and we do no training. So speaking of training, I want to jump over to another story. I was in the Freehold Mall this week and I was going around and there were a lot of empty stores. It's Christmas time, but there's a lot of empty stores. Now, is it Amazon that's driving people not to go to the malls? Is it perhaps the merchandise isn't good? Then I came to the Apple store. The Apple store is packed. There was a line of people waiting to go into the Apple store. Now, why is the Apple store packed when the other stores are quiet? They have people, they have what people want, they have the products, but what makes their store so unique?
The helpers, the technical.
It's not only the products, because you can get these products online and have them shipped to your doorstep, as you could any other product. It's the people. So Apple does an amazing job of training their people. In fact, if you look at Apple, they do $6,000 per square foot. The most successful retail store in the world. The next highest retail store is Tiffany's, which does a little bit less than $3,000. So why is it that the Apple store is packed and the other ones are empty? Because of what they do to train their people. So when you go into an Apple store, you'll see this if you go there today. All of their MacBooks are going to be at a 45-degree angle. Now, why do they do that? Because as a customer, you're going to do that. You're going to look it, turn it, and once you do that, they figured out that that's transferring ownership to you. So you now have that in your hand. It's a little technique. It works. I bought one. The other thing that Apple employees will do is they'll all be standing toward the front of the store. When you come in, they'll make eye contact. They'll greet you. They'll say, "Oh, hi, my name is Bill. What brings you in today?" They talk to people right off the bat. So automatically you have a relationship instead of seeing somebody standing behind the counter. They don't have people who are working there. They have geniuses. Boy, don't I want to deal with a genius rather than some clerk. So Apple does all these little techniques that are going to help your experience be better to them. They don't have commissions. No Apple employee makes any commissions. They're more interested in building a relationship and having you deal with them forever than selling you something, which is very different. The same day at the Freehold Mall, I happened to take a move over to the Microsoft store. Now the Microsoft store was interesting. They have the shirts that look like Apple. They have lanyards that are Apple. And there was 8 people in the store. 7 of them were employees, 1 customer. The experience is very different. So here at Toastmasters, we do exactly what all those other stores that aren't Apple. So how can we change that? Well, my experience, when I went to a Toastmasters meeting for the first time in Red Bank, I went there and people were handing out these ballots and handing me a form. I didn't know what I was doing. I was sitting there and they said, "Here, fill out this form." So I felt there's 30 people in this room. I knew no one. They didn't know me. They didn't even come up and ask my name. So I'm a persistent person. I went back to the next meeting and all of a sudden everybody's dressed really nice. I got to notice, oh, there looks like a lot of doctors in the room. After all, the meetings are being held in the Riverview Medical Center. And boy, the first presentation was okay, But when I went to this meeting, it was really a complicated medical experience. I talked to the person next to me and said, boy, this is a pretty involved Toastmasters meeting. And the woman said, Toastmasters? What's Toastmasters? I didn't know. I was there the right day, but the meeting was moved because the doctors were having a meeting. So once again, I didn't know what I was doing. And this is what we do to new members when they join. They come along, we hand them a manual, say, hey, complete these 10 speeches, you'll get a CC. What's a CC? I don't know. So what happened at Red Bank is we have the same problem that all of us have here. We had members who were joining. We have a really great amount of guests who become members, they pay the membership, and we never see them again. We didn't follow up. We just kept bringing in money for Toastmasters, but that's not our goal. Our goal isn't to make money. Our goal is to have really, really great relationships with our members. So looking at that, we were in an officer meeting and came up with an idea. If any of you have ever been a VP, you have a pretty big role. You have a lot of things that you're doing. Mentorship is one of them. It just doesn't get done because you're doing too many things. So we invented a mentor coordinator position. We created this officer position, and we got Elizabeth Mancuso, who we saw as a very, very organized person, and she took over the mentor coordinator program. What that meant is she would meet with people and she'd say, Aida, you have your second speech coming up. What are your thoughts? And she started having that relationship with someone. The next one, she might be able to say, hey, where are you in your speeches? Let's meet together for coffee at Starbucks and find out a little bit about it. And relationships started going. And people started showing up in meetings. Instead of people joining and never seeing them again, people joined and they came back. And then not only did they come back, but they started going through their manuals. They started advancing. Membership went up. We doubled our membership. Retention started happening because people got something out of the meeting. Suddenly, these people didn't know what they're doing our whole way, started to know what they're doing. We're not quite Apple, but we're going to the journey to get people that are building those relationships. Now, the only way that you can do that is you have to have a written goal, because if it isn't written, it's just a dream. So, in all of our clubs, I would suggest pick out somebody who's very organized and create a mentor coordinator program. With your officers and the mentor coordinator, write down what those goals are. And Toastmasters has some mentor qualities. I'm going to leave this at the back of the room that you can take with you. And it's very, very specific. Create a mentor coordinator position, call them an officer, invite them to officers' meetings, invite them to officer training, and what will happen is your club will go from being someone who I didn't know what was going on to starting to know what was going on. Additionally, Red Bank, after having all these people come and go, like sort of just like in and outdoor, people started advancing up. We became presidents distinguished. It wasn't that the people were better. It wasn't that the room was better. It's that we started building those relationships. Because again, imagine when you first go into a meeting, you know nobody, and they just leave you like that, and you won't know anybody. It's not a great way to build your club with memberships. So does anybody here have any examples or any questions of what has worked as building a mentorship program? Yes.
Hi, I'm Duana Barnes. I'm the president of Excellent Toastmasters Club and VPE of Gold Coast Advance. Woo, woo. In my corporate club, we found that we had a high turnover. So we implemented the Toastmasters mentorship program, and our VPE actually runs it, which I think is probably kind of labor intensive, so I really like your idea of creating a mentor coordinator position, but it really helps. We automatically assign someone a mentor when they join, and that person usually has at least 6 speeches under their belt, and then it's been very helpful in maintaining membership and reducing turnover.
So it works. Agreed. The reason why I say have a separate position for it, because it'll get done. The VP just has so much on their plate that if you just give them another task, it's just too much. It's not going to get done. And that person who is a mentor coordinator, boy, isn't that a great transition to go to be a VPE of the next term. And while that mentor coordinator is speaking to the other members, they can be saying, Sue, have you ever considered an officer position? Here are the officer's positions. Here's what they are. And as you could start thinking, maybe I want to be treasurer. Well, Sue, let me introduce you to Martin, our treasurer, and you could be alongside of Martin, and you could know what it is. So when that July 1st date comes in, it's not like you're starting from day one. So you have these people transitioning over. It'll make your club a lot stronger. It'll make your members get more from it. And when your members are advancing through the speakers, and as we've been speaking about advanced clubs, it's a really high quality speeches there. And again, if you are that new first-time guest and you're hearing some really, really high quality speeches, you're more likely to join. But it really is up to us. So we can either choose to have a room of everybody knowing each other except for you, because we are ignoring you, or we can invite you in, we can have a plan, and you can have your club grow. It really, really works. It's worked for Red Bank. Again, we doubled our size, and people are actively, 35 people have every meeting. We have five speaker positions. When I first joined Red Bank, maybe 2 people were speaking. And when it was time for people to speak, they would be sort of shying away because they didn't know what they were doing. So it's our choice as leaders in Toastmasters to decide if you want your members to have a clue or not have a clue. It's really all up to us. Yes?
Yes, Brian Court, President of Cosmopolitan Mentors and VP of American Speakers Club. It sounds to me like your mentor coordinator is sort of like the first mentor that is the default mentor that reaches out to people. Is that person also aware of the other members' needs and the CLN and the members who need to get that mentorship project? And then after that whole first interaction with the new member, joining them up with an actual mentor?
That's a great question. So the mentor coordinator isn't only the mentor. The mentor coordinator is a coordinator. The mentor coordinator, he or she, is meeting with the other mentors and helping them go through. It's not only to hit your 3 speeches, or it's not only to fulfill a requirement. Many of us say, oh, we have to hit this requirement, we'll do this, we're done. That's not the intent of Toastmasters. The intent is to have some leadership skills. Because if I'm going to be mentoring you, I have to figure out, what am I going to talk about? I'm not going to wing it, I'm going to be prepared. So I'm going to become a better member because now I have to teach someone else. For those of us who are parents, like we're teaching our children, they're looking up to us, they're looking out for us. And we can either give a good example or we can become absent. Good example is much better choice. Does everyone yes?
Hi, Susan Crystal, President, What Exit, and Northern Stars Advance. First of all, I agree fully with you on assigning a mentor to a member when they join. We've been doing that at What Exit, and we've had some good success and have 2 new members, even though we chartered in September. So we're growing nicely with that. But I also think another important point is that mentorship does not end once you have your CC. And joining Northern Stars was one of the things that taught me this. When I joined, and anyone who knows me knows I tend to speak very, very fast. And Anna's laughing because she's seen it. It took a lot of speeches for me to speak. You don't have to be really good, but have someone still contact. I became a lot better as a speaker when I had joined Northern Stars and I had Ken Winter as my mentor. And especially if you're ever considering it, a district leadership role, having a mentor who's done one that can advise you what it's really like to be area director, for example, or what it's really like to sponsor a club, or what it's really like to mentor a club. That's very valuable. So I definitely encourage everybody to have a mentor. You should at least have one. Ideally, you could have many. If you don't have one in your club, if you're in a club and there's no one in your club that can mentor you, look around this room and find somebody else in District 83 and that you admire, and walk up to them and ask them if they'll mentor you. Because mentorship is just one of the best things that this organization offers, and one of the best ways to advance. Thanks, Del.
Mentorship doesn't have to end at the 3rd speech. I have a mentor. Rebecca Marzak is my mentor. I'm in an advanced club. I have many mentors in my advanced club because I want to be a DTM. So rather than winging it and not knowing what I'm doing, I'm lucky enough to have Sue or Ann or John or many other people who are in an advanced club. So mentoring is not an ending thing after 3 speeches. Mentoring is continual as far high as you want to go. Because there's always somebody else who's advanced that can be bringing you along. Was there another question? Yes.
Andre Kirillak, BMW Toastmasters. I agree that mentoring is a very, very important subject, and it's a very important thing that we do, not only as Toastmasters, but I have mentors that go back to my college days that I still use today. And I basically look up to these people for life-making decisions. If mentoring is this important, are they going to Meeting Day, Toastmasters International, Incorporated, it's an officer role? or is it still going to remain up to the individual clubs to do this as a coordinator level?
So my suggestion would be, it would be great if Toastmasters International could have it. I'm not in a position to change Toastmasters, but in a position to control my club. And what I would suggest for all of us, create a mentor coordinator position. If you're using the TLI website, you could actually add another officer position. Now, they won't get credit for being an officer, but really they're doing the role for that. So I would suggest create it on your own. Maybe if enough people in District 83 start getting it going, Toastmasters will go, wow, what's going on with this area? Things are happening. And lots of times that's how change happens. You do it first, and then people will recognize it, and then the change happens. So we can make the change. Thank you.
Ricky, first off, Brunswick Toastmasters. I have a question about this. How to navigate the new member too much English? I remember when I went to a church, right? Everybody come shake hand with me, had to ask me questions, ask me phone number, then keep calling me. I really don't like that.
Well,
So how to navigate
there's a difference between being a pest and being a mentor. I don't want anybody to pest me either. But a mentor also has to have skills. A mentor has to be able to guide someone. Being a role model and being a mentor are two different things. Being a role model might be somebody that you look up to that doesn't know you and doesn't care about you. A mentor is someone who's going to be there along to assist you. And everybody has their different roles. And everybody's going to go at different levels. One of the great things about Toastmasters is we do encourage people to get ahead. But you don't have to hit any targets. Like every meeting you have to complete a speech. It's at your own level. But I think that your members will advance a lot further and a lot better high quality if they have somebody alongside, so that they will have somebody who's there for them. Yes.
So one of the difficulties for mentors is sometimes the mentee is reluctant or not advancing. And so it often ends up, in our club, we'll have somebody who's trying to mentor somebody, and they have a series of people that they're trying to mentor. Could the mentor coordinator also be getting in touch with the mentees and saying, really, it's good for you to progress here, helping them as well as them helping you. I encourage both parties to get together and make it happen.
Yeah, and there may be some people who just may not get along well together. There may be someone who doesn't click. It might not be a great relationship. So it doesn't mean that that has to be the only one. If one person isn't a great member and connection, maybe there's somebody else. And the other thing that Elizabeth, our mentor coordinator, does really well is not only does she reach out to the mentors, but she reaches out to the mentee. So she might say, hey, Ida, how's your mentor doing? Has he or she contacted you? Oh, all of a sudden there's accountability. Because now Ida's going to go, my mentor did contact me. Victor, why did you call me? And what happens is it gets responsibility both ways. But your club will grow in a much, much better way, a genuine way, than just completing another check mark in your goals for Toastmasters. It's genuine, it works. Yes.
One of the things that we had issues with, if you got a club member who doesn't want a mentor, but that's the type of a person that you have a shadow mentor just watching what they're doing. Because that's how you do. You watch what they do, and then you offer suggestions. There you are mentoring somebody who doesn't really want to be mentored, but he's taking your advice. So we have to find all the different ways that are available to help our club members. And being a shadow mentor, I mean, I've done that a couple of times. And eventually the person says, why? Thanks, that's great. And they're off, they think you're fine. I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
I'm Mary Barone, Mars Chocolate Sweet Talkers. So I totally agree with your approach, and I love it. We tried something similar, and it hasn't really been working. My question is, does the coordinator report up to the president or to the VP of Education?
Well, what we do in our club is it's underneath the VP of E, but she's not only accountable, but she communicates to all the other officers in there. You can make this position what you want. To make it more effective, have it not just again, the VP is a pretty labor-intensive kind of role, to have them shared amongst other people. And then what we also did too is when that mentor coordinator finished, she became our VPE. Now we have another mentor coordinator, and it's a girl, Michelle, who I really didn't think was going to step up to a leadership role. But coincidentally, Elizabeth was her mentor. Now she's taken over the mentor coordinator position, and it just grows and grows and grows. Yes?
Who was treasurer of Richmond Toastmasters? Since Toastmasters International does not recognize this position, I think it should be a function of one of the officers. And in our club, the president says, when a new member is inducted, says, "I want to have a mentor." So I think it really should be the president who should be responsible for this, and then talk to whatever mentors. Now, me personally, we assign mentors. I was assigned a mentor, and then the mentor left the club. So it ended up I had no mentor. So I'm my own mentor. I'm kind of tough on myself. But I think this is a really good idea because we just had an officers meeting. We had to drop in our membership. I'm treasurer, I have to monitor the number of members of the list. And this was not discussed, and I think it really should be important.
Yeah, I agree, and I think a lot of officers meetings, we go, oh, we have to do mentorship this term. We have to do mentorship. All right, next subject. we don't do the job that we're supposed to do, and we fail. Yes. Yes.
Monica Kluger, speaking lead Toastmasters and Toast of the Meadows. I think this is a fabulous introductory session to mentoring. The clubs, as we've heard, that have implemented it, have been successful with it. Since it's not a recognized TLI condition, would the district be willing to host a orientation session, whether it's at the next training session or perhaps a web session for clubs that are interested in the role in order to train potential mentors?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And that's something that,
help with that a little bit.
Yeah.
When Tony Figueroa starts talking about pathways, TLI has recognized that mentoring is an important function. And there is a module in pathways about mentoring. And Tony Figueroa will probably speak about that.
But that's for ambassadors only.
No, I'm talking about the one that he's going to be speaking to us at 9:30 about pathways up there. So that's, you might hear something about it
I
there.
see, thank you.
yes.
If I could also add, there is an educational module on mentoring. When I was in a corporate club back in the day, we had used that as a launch pad for our mentoring program. We did something similar to Red Bank. Even though Red Bank is taking credit for inventing it, we didn't. My club doesn't exist anymore, so I'll let Red Bank run with that.
By the way,
But
Ed
it's-
is one
it's
of my
great.
mentors, so.
Either way, it's a good idea, and
Yeah. It doesn't matter who did it, as long as it
We
gets
got
done.
it.
Yes.
I'm Charles from the Toastmasters Club, relatively new to the Toastmasters, and as we say, it's a journey of learning how to speak, not only that, inventing yourself. What I want to say that this is a 60-40 kind of an issue, that the person needs to be aware that it is mentorship equally employed leadership. So the best way to look at it into a gray area, observe the person, body language, and see whether he needs or not. Because like a pushy salesman in a car versus an Apple, you need to know where you're gonna need, and then slowly comes in, like say, many areas go into it, and slowly come into it anyway. So this is a great topic, thank you.
Yeah, we don't want anybody to leave because they're pushed into anything. We don't want people to leave because they don't know anything. It's like any other relationship. Not everybody that you deal with, you're going to deal with the same way. So that's a skill, a leadership skill actually, that you're actually implementing instead of just looking for a job. Yes.
Phyllis Goldberg, treasurer of Speaking Lead Toastmasters and What Exit. Years ago, a member of NBL Toastmasters, and I mean years ago. Some of you may not be old enough to be around then.
We're even born then.
Thank you for the compliment, Phyllis.
You're welcome. You're welcome. NBL Toastmasters had a mentoring program 20 some odd years ago. And what we've carried through to the clubs that I've been in, and Susan was doing it without me saying a word, but what we have done usually is share the load, shall we say, between the VPE and the VPM. Because the VPM is the person who brings the person in. So if the VPE is busy, the VPM is saying, we want to assign you a mentor. If you don't get assigned a mentor right away, come back to me, come back to the VPE, so that you've got two people going. And if the new member feels more comfortable with one than the other, they can do whichever way they want it. The other thing is to keep track of who's mentor. Because we also sometimes, when a mentor doesn't know what they should answer this person, they go to their mentor, and we try to keep a line going so that if I'm his mentor and he's his mentor, and she's the one who needs the information, and these two people don't know it, they'll just keep turning around. And as a DTM, one of my mentors doesn't have a CC yet, but they have a skill that I don't have.
So you made it work.
I've asked for this person to be one of my two mentors because they have a skill that I don't have. It doesn't have to be that the person has the higher level, but rather the higher skill.
And think of the first time Toastmasters meeting that a lot of us have, I'll be done in one moment, a lot of Toastmasters, you come to a first time meeting and you don't know what's going on. Imagine if the person says, Victor, if you decide to join, you'll have a mentor who will work alongside with you and explain everything to you and help you to succeed. It's a much, much different way than saying, here, sign up for it because we need 4 more members soon. So, yes, one quick question.
I just want to say,
Oh, 5 minutes, okay.
I'm sorry, I just want to say that, what's in it for you? I was really too busy to be a mentor. I'm officer in 2 clubs. And I really had to dig deep. I think there is a goal you have to achieve to coach a new member in their first 3 speeches to get your DTM. So if you are a mentor, you can maybe meet that goal. So that's what's in it for you to become a mentor. That's the one I think. Plus just being helpful.
And isn't that one of the things that we do at Toastmasters so well? We reach. We reach for stuff that we're not comfortable with. We go outside of our comfort zone. So maybe somebody says, I'm not a good mentor. But maybe they could go to their mentor and say, what is it that I need to do that? And have a specific plan and follow it. Yes.
I'm Jeanette Alexander. I probably met most of you as you registered. But I just want to say that I think Phyllis was right, that it does go hand in hand with membership retention. I mean, what is retention about? It's about engagement. A member who is engaged somehow will retain their membership. And a great way to do that, as well as help them along, is to have this mentor. So it's a very important part about how you run your club. So we do have a mentoring program at my schools. But if you don't have something like that in your club, it's really worthwhile investigating it and trying to get it started.
In Atkins clubs who use mentoring, a bunch of things will happen. You're going to start having people attending your meetings, so you're going to get better meetings. You're going to get your DCP points will start happening generically, because what's going to happen is as people advance along, they're going to complete it. You're going to get your membership need because you have people who are actively going. If you join the Toastmasters Club and never show, chances are pretty small that you're not going to pay for membership again. So, yes, we.
Question was raised about mentoring. In the Successful Club series, there is a project about mentoring. And that is a PDF and a PowerPoint that's downloaded free from the TI website that all our clubs are encouraged to use because we want our clubs to be successful. So if you are looking for more information, you are looking to implement this, download that PDF. Gives you all the information you need. Download the PowerPoint and use it at one of your club meetings to encourage your members so that they know how to be a successful mentor. Thank you.
My name is Rose Portfolio, and our club is Conquer Toastmasters, and there's 4 of us here. I love your mindset that your club is your community. It's not about just the membership fees. So as the VP of Education, with our president, what we did was we did not have just one mentor coordinator. We built an infrastructure because we have a lot of advanced members, okay, and Project 6 involved in advanced leaders. So there are about, let's say, 7 member coordinators with alternates. So if they are busy, there's an alternate right there that can take their place and mentor that person that they are assigned to. So we built a conveyor belt. So this way, as a VP of Education, organization, we maintain the community culture of the Conquerors Club.
See, so that's an excellent way to approach it. So for
Yeah.
those of us who might have said, how do we have one mentor?
Exactly.
What if she has 7?
And then you have the alternate, okay? So let's say I'm an alternate of Melissa here, who is our Conqueror Club. I could be also a mentor of another member, and I have an alternate Ramo, who is our president, and so forth and so on. So we have a really great conveyor belt. So the honest, right, of chemistry and all that, you have at least 2 opportunities to hit it with a mentor and a alternate.
So what we've I've had here, but mentoring works, but you have to do something to make it work. You can't just say, oh, this is a great idea, and then go back to my day. Mentoring works, you have to implement it. It should be done or really, really will benefit the club. Thank you very much.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Our next speaker is Andrew Smith, and we're going to cover moments here. Rachel, can you help me? Stand up and stretch if you want.
Remember what you said last time when we worked? We need we're gonna have to change the way we work.
How's the traffic? Took a while. It's a long time, right? Where's the comedian? Oh, Good. There are a lot of food still. Brew, coffee.
Take your seats, please.